Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Pastor Tunde Bakari, thank you very much. Well, we're almost out of time now, so I'm going to quickly go on to the next item. Not to take anything away from that, I hope you're able to hold on to it tightly, in addition to the speech given by our chairperson. But quickly, I'm going to be calling on the UK Deputy High Commissioner to please kindly come on here and give us a word. Thank you very much.
Wow, what a speech to have to follow. I won't try. I'll be very brief. It's an absolute honour to be here this morning, to share the stage with such an esteemed panel, and to be here with all of you as we recall the sombre reason that we're gathered here today. But I have to say, this morning I have been uplifted. I'd like to start by expressing on behalf of the British government our sympathies, now of all days, with the parents not only of those girls who have still not returned from Chibok, with Leah Sharibu still not returned from Dapchi, but with all the thousands of other children who've been taken and people who have been killed during the insurgency in the northeast of Nigeria. There have been far too many of them, and our thoughts are with them, particularly today. We've heard from our eminent speakers about the place of the girl child in Nigeria, and I was delighted to see the theme of today's lecture, renewing our commitment to the girl child in Nigeria. The topic that I want to focus on for the short time that I'll speak is education, because that's where this starts. We heard from 3 young women today who I hope will be inspired by the other fabulous women that we have on show this morning. Keep going with your education and see where that takes you. Championing girls' education to promote global stability is a priority for the UK government and for the Foreign Secretary who was here in Nigeria last year. By providing quality education and training, we're empowering the poorest and the most vulnerable girls to get the skills they need to get good jobs, to build successful careers, to engage in politics, to have choice and authority over their futures, and hopefully one day to be the first female president of Nigeria. That challenge is particularly acute in the northeast, where women and girls are disproportionately affected by the conflict and by the crisis. Yet we know that when women and girls are involved in the solutions, those solutions last. Evidence shows that when women participate meaningfully in peace agreements, those peace agreements are 35% more likely to last 15 years. And education is key in that. So as we move towards the 2019 election, let's hope that with the focus on education, we're preparing women to be in those positions where they can take on the power and when they can deliver for the people that they serve. So I hope that we'll see those changes. I hope that people rise to the cause and demand what they deserve from their politicians, and I hope that women are part of the solution and providing that service that people of Nigeria deserve. Thank you.
That was Her Excellency Harriet Thompson, UK Deputy High Commissioner. Well, you would recall that when we started this event, during the chant, Aisha Yesufo said, they've asked the question, why are you crying louder than the bereaved? I think that question has an answer. We do know that the bereaved are vulnerable people, and what this movement has done is amplify the voice of the people who are bereaved. I'll call now on a member of that community who is the chairperson of the Chibok community here in Abuja, Mr. Mukta Nkeki, to now give the voice of the particular community.
I'm listening to right now from the Chibok community, Mr. Mukhtar Nkeki, speaking on what the situation is and how they are dealing with the crisis.
Our great leader, that's leader of the Bring Back Our Girls, the president of CADA, invited guests, members of the press, members of the diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is indeed heartbreaking for me to make some remark at this 4th year anniversary of our daughters in captivity. Yes, because under this regime, I never envisaged that our daughters will remain up to 6 months in agony. Now, under this same regime, our daughters are groaning with pain for almost 3 years, 3 good years now. To this end, I have to declare that the president has failed parents of yet to be rescued girls. In view of his promises, in view of the promise he made when he took oath of office, Nigerian government has also rejected us as people. You may ask me why. The regime under which our daughters were adopted had initially refused to accept the adoption until it was worsened. The present regime as well has refused to fulfill their campaign promises, giving excuses that the girls were not adopted during their regime. You can see the pain. To worsen the whole situation, Nigerian government, through their negotiator, and so many other Nigerians have inflicted psychological pain on us Chibok people, through their utterances, such as the following: the girls refuse to come. The girls are married. The worst of all, the government continuously telling global community that they have dismissed Boko Haram, whereas our daughters are still in the custody of Boko Haram. You can imagine all this. The questions are, who contracted the marriage of these girls with Boko Haram? Did the girls sign up their adoption? Since the government claimed it has defeated Boko Haram, where are our daughters? Even with persistent requests from us as people from Chibok, Nigerian government has refused to conduct thorough investigation into the adoption and refused to make public report of so-called fact-finding committee led by General Sabo. We need answers. What are we asking for? The truth? Nothing but the truth. It is therefore, on behalf of the Chibok people, I thank members of Bring Back Our Girls. I thank members of the press. I thank international donors who donated for the education of the released girls. I equally thank genuine and selfless negotiators. I thank Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the JTF. Thank you all.
And listening there to that speech, talking about what the progress so far has been, and of course what the challenges still being faced as regards the Chibok kidnapping, 112 girls still missing, and of course the call is to bring back the remaining girls.
Thank you very much, Maokwe. I think that Pastor Bakare has taken the presentation, and so we need to, as quickly as possible, bring this to a close. Pastor Bakare, we really want to thank you. We will make, no, don't clap yet, don't clap yet. We will make his speech available on our website. Please